Good evening, children. In this class, we will continue with our fifth chapter. We will go for the next sum. Do the homeworks properly in the same notebook. We will see question number 16. If one equation was given to us, it represents a circle. This equation represents a circle. Find p value and q value. That is the first question. Also determine the center and radius of that circle. Again, I repeat, one equation was given and they have given that it represents a circle. Then what is p value and what is q value we need to find out first. After that, we have to determine what is the center and the radius of the circle. So in this problem, what we do is first we are writing the given equation here, and we should know the condition for an equation to represent a circle. That is what I have written in the next line. For a circle, these are the two conditions. First one is coefficient of x square will be equal to coefficient of y square. This is the first condition for an equation to represent a circle. What is the first condition? Coefficient of x square and coefficient of y square should be equal. And the second condition is coefficient of xy term should be equal to 0. Or otherwise we can say there should not be xy term in that equation. Equation should not contain xy term, or otherwise we can say coefficient of xy term is equal to 0. So these are the two conditions that we should know for what? For an equation to represent a circle. Now we are having one equation. They themselves told that this is a circle. Therefore we can take these two conditions. Now see what is coefficient of x square. From the given equation, coefficient of x square is 3 and coefficient of y square is q. Therefore directly we are getting the value of q. 3 is equal to q. So we got q value. Similarly, coefficient of xy term equal to 0. What is coefficient of xy here? Xy term is present here. The coefficient is 3 minus p. Therefore 3 minus p should be equal to 0, from which we are obtaining the value of p. P is equal to 3. So actually we got the answer for the first question. Find p and q. We got p value and q value here. Next, what is the question? Also determine the center and radius of the circle. So what we do is we are going to substitute p value and q value in this first equation. So what will happen if I put 3 here in place of p? If I put 3, 3 minus 3 will become 0. Therefore xy term will vanish. So what I am writing, equation 1 gives, what is equation 1? So the given question is called equation 1. So 1 gives 3x square, this becomes 0. In place of q I should substitute 3, so plus 3y square. If I put p again 3, it will become 2 3s are 6 into x, 6x. Here also p and q are both equal to 3, so 3 3s are 9, 9 into 8 is 72 equal to 0. So how we got this? In equation 1, substitute p value and q value. Now the next step is we are going to divide this entire term by 3, because if each and every term are multiples of 3, so divide by 3. So we will get this. 6 will become 2, 72 will become 24. What we are doing? Dividing by 3 tables. Now comparing this equation with the general equation of the circle, x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. Comparing this equation with the general equation of the circle, what we obtain? See, 2g is equal to minus 2 because coefficient of x. 2g is equal to minus 2. So that is what I have written here. 2f, which is coefficient of y. Here no y term is present, so 2f is equal to 0. In place of c, here a number is present, minus 24. So c is equal to minus 24. From this g value we can easily find out g equal to minus 1, 2 gets cancelled. 2f equal to 0 means f equal to 0. C value is already obtained. So after finding these three values, now we will try to tell the answer for the question asked to us. What is the question asked to us? Center and radius. So center is equal to, write the formula, minus g comma minus f. G value we know, multiply that with minus symbol. F value we know, multiply that with minus symbol and find the answer, 1 comma 0. Next, radius, again formula, root of g square plus f square minus c equal to, g square means minus 1 square 1, f square means 0 square 0, minus c is minus 24, therefore minus c is plus 24, root of 25, which is 5 units. So center is 1 comma 0, radius is 5 units. Could you able to understand this? With this we are completing the first exercise. Next we will go for a concept called conic, right? We will move into the conic section. So try to understand this. If you listen properly only, you can able to understand this definition. Conics is the heading. What is meant by a conic? If you see, the definition is given here. A conic is the locus of a point which moves in a plane. I'll read out first. A conic is the locus of a point which moves in a plane so that its distance from a fixed point bears a constant ratio to its distance from a fixed line, not containing the fixed point. I think many will get a confusion. What is the meaning of this? So we will read once again. A conic is the locus of a point which moves in a plane so that its distance from a fixed point bears a constant ratio to its distance from a fixed line, not containing the fixed point. So we will try to explain this definition through this diagram. Now in this diagram, first we will explain what are all the terms that present in this diagram. Yes, I have placed a point here, s of x comma y. This point is fixed, this will not move. P of x1 comma y1, another point, this is called moving point. So first we will define what is P. P is nothing but moving point. The position changes. This point will move, it keeps on moving. This point will not move. S is the fixed point, x comma y is a fixed point. And L is the nothing but fixed line. This is called L. This is fixed line, this will not move. So this is fixed. This point S is fixed. Only the moving point is P. P of x1 comma y1. Now what is the condition we are imposing is, this point P moves, it moves such that it bears a constant ratio. It bears a constant ratio. That constant ratio is called SP by PM. What is SP? The distance between S and P. The distance between S and P. PM is nothing but the distance between this point P and this point M. Actually, what is PM means? P is a moving point. Suppose if it is here now, draw a perpendicular line from this point P to this fixed line L, and this meeting point is called M. So perpendicular symbol will come here. So actually what we are doing, this is a moving point. Wherever it is, from that place we are drawing a perpendicular to this fixed line. Again I repeat, P is a moving point. Wherever it is, from there we are drawing a perpendicular line to this fixed line L. That end point is called M. So calculate this distance PM. So SP divided by PM. This is a ratio, right? SP by PM is nothing but a ratio. What is S and P? What is SP? The distance between fixed point and the moving point. What is PM? The distance between the moving point and the fixed line. Again I repeat children, SP means distance between fixed point and moving point. PM is nothing but the distance between moving point and the fixed line. And suppose if these two ratio is always same, it always gives same answer. Yes, this ratio is, if you read this, its distance from a fixed point bears a constant ratio to its distance from a fixed line. If this ratio is always constant, and that constant value is called E, then such a diagram obtained is called conic. I think you will not understand now. Again I repeat, P is a moving point. So suppose I am calculating the distance SP and PM and dividing those two values, I am getting one value. Similarly, the point P moves here. So again I have to connect S and P from P to M, again calculate the ratio. That bears a constant value means then wherever this P moves, no, you connect that and get a diagram. That diagram is called conic. Again I repeat, P is a moving point, it changes its position. Suppose if I am connecting all the path that is traveled by P, that path, if you connect it, you will get a diagram, right? That diagram is called conic. What is the condition that we are imposing? The ratio should be constant. What is the ratio? SP by PM. What is SP? Distance between fixed point and moving point. PM is nothing but distance between moving point and the fixed line. So this constant, this ratio is called E. Such a diagram obtained is called a conic. So try to understand what is meant by conic. Next we will go for an important result. If this fixed ratio E, the name is given eccentricity, and also fixed point, I said no, S, the name is given to us. The fixed point is called focus. Fixed line L is called directrix. I repeat, fixed point is called focus, fixed line is called directrix. This constant ratio is called eccentricity. Suppose if this constant ratio E is equal to 1, then the conic obtained is a parabola. In this conic section, we are going to learn about 3 curves, out of which the first one is parabola. If this E is equal to 1, the diagram obtained will be a parabola. If E is lesser than 1, then the diagram obtained is an ellipse. If E is greater than 1, the diagram obtained is a hyperbola. So try to understand, children. Again I repeat, this is called constant ratio, and ratio, the name is given as E. E is called eccentricity. E is equal to SP by PM. Suppose if always the point P moves such that E is always equal to 1 means the diagram obtained is parabola. If the value E is always coming lesser than 1, which means 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.1, such values only E is taking means the diagram obtained is an ellipse. E value is, if always it is greater than 1, then the diagram obtained is a hyperbola. So conic is nothing but, what is meant by conic? It is the locus of this moving point. Conic is nothing but a diagram, geometrical shape. How it is obtained? It is obtained by this moving point. This point P moves such that if we connect, wherever P moves, if we connect the path, we will get a diagram. No, that diagram is called conic. What is the condition imposed? We should have we need to find eccentricity value. How to find eccentricity value? Divide the distance SP and PM. What is SP? Fixed point, distance between fixed point and moving point. PM is nothing but distance between moving point and the fixed line. Divide these two distances, name that value as eccentricity. If E is always equal to 1, it is parabola. If E is lesser than 1, ellipse. E is greater than 1, the conic obtained is a hyperbola. So in the next class, what we are going to do is, we will see the conic 1, that is, we will take parabola separately and learn its properties. After learning the properties of parabola, we will go for the problems. So try to understand what I said and write these things in your classwork neatly. Also prepare for your midterm examination. Even we can conduct as a midterm test in the next week. I think I already informed you the schedule, right? Next week anytime I can conduct. The date will be informed to you shortly. Total marks is for 50. So what you have to do is start preparing. Chapters are first chapter and second chapter, write and practice. Right, I think children, you will understand the situation and act accordingly. Don't waste time, use the time properly. Thank you, children.